Hello children, today in this video we are going to start with a new chapter. The name of the chapter is Gemma. It is given in your literature books. You may open page number 43. Children, this story is all about a girl, Gemma. Gemma is fond of adventurous trips. So let us see what happens in one of her adventurous trips. Children, this story is written by Daniel Errico. Daniel Errico is a writer and a producer. He is a creator of a website also. Many parents and students visit his website to read his stories and all. So let's get started with the reading part of the chapter. Children, now I'm going to read the story for you all. Kindly keep a pencil with you. Wherever I will ask you to mark down the difficult words, do it, and you may write down the meaning on top of it. Gemma lives with her parents in a tropical rainforest, and her best friend is a lemur called Milo. Gemma has always accompanied her parents, underline accompanied children, on their expeditions, underline expeditions also, and she loves going for such adventures. This morning she sneaks out, underline sneaks out of her parents' home as she is looking forward to an unusual experience in the jungle. Now children, Gemma used to live with her parents in a tropical rainforest. Tropical rainforest means beta, you need to underline, write down the meaning, where there is no dry season, alright? And Gemma's best friend is lemur. Lemur is an animal like a monkey, you can say. And the name of her best friend was Milo. Gemma used to go on expeditions. You need to underline expeditions. Expeditions means journey. She used to go out on expeditions with her parents. She loves going for such adventures. You know what happened one morning? She sneaks out. Underline sneaks. Sneaks out means to do something secretly. That means her parents were not aware of what she was going to do now. So what happened? One morning she has moved out of her house without telling her parents, and she was there, moved out for an unusual means the thing which is not normal, unusual experience in the jungle. All right, now moving ahead, I'm going to read next paragraph for you all. A short walk away, Gemma brushed past a prickly bush and followed a small prick in the twisted liana vines. She came to a wall of leaves and grew excited at the sound of movement ahead. She often felt like she could sense an adventure was near. In fact, she felt it almost every single day, and for the past year, she had been wrong roughly every single time. So despite the eagerness to find something remarkable, her shock was genuine. Underline genuine, children. When she brushed the leaves aside, in a small clearing, no larger than a rock pond, was a black jaguar. She bravely, confidently froze. Now children, see here. When Gemma was walking in the jungle, there was a bush which has thorns in it. Then she, after walking ahead, then she came to a wall of leaves. There she got excited. She could feel that something exciting was near. This feeling she used to have every day. But you know what happened? This time, whatever she was thinking was true. When she moved the leaf aside, she could see a black jaguar. Here, children, it is mentioned now, brush the leaf aside means she has, you can say she has moved the leaves towards one side. After moving the leaves aside, she could see a black jaguar. Now, what is a black jaguar? It is a South American animal, children. All right. After looking at that animal, she was brave enough and she was confident also. She did not move. She was stiff. She was stable at one place. As she rubbed the condensation from her glasses, Gemma spotted a small animal underneath the jaguar's paw. Further rubbing led to a further clarity, and she recognized the animal as a golden mole. You need to underline this golden mole, children. Both rare and beautiful. A fear rushed in that if she didn't act soon, the mole could be eaten or crushed under the jaguar's leg. Now, after looking at Jaguar, she was stable. She did not move. She was a brave and confident girl. She cleaned her glasses also. When she had cleaned, she could see the things more clearly. She saw that there is a small animal under the jaguar's paw. After watching it carefully, children, she realized that the animal is a golden mole. It was rare and beautiful. She was also afraid that Jaguar will eat it up, or it would be crushed under the jaguar's paw. You can say she was, very much, concerned about this golden mole. Oh, Bramble Rock, she whispered. So who whispered this? This was the girl named Gemma whispered. She whispered, "Oh, Bramble Rock." Half thinking, half not at all thinking. I am reading now. Come on to page number 44, children. Moving ahead now. Half thinking, half not at all thinking. Gemma reached into the brown satchel. Underline the word satchel here. At her waist, and found a small piece of suede. Underline this. Wrapped tightly inside was her favorite brass bell. It was dented, old gift from an even older grandma, and Gemma never left it behind when she ventured out. You need to underline ventured also, children. Normally, she reserved it for occasions that required making a lot of noise, but an emergency like this was something much more risky. So now, children, after you all know that looking at Jaguar, she did not move because she was a confident girl. Okay. After watching all this, she was little upset. Why she was upset? As I told you, she was a little bit concerned about that beautiful mammal, golden mole. She wanted to save that animal. All right. So what happened? Now she was thinking that how could she help this little mammal, this little animal? She was thinking. Then there was an idea struck into her mind. Then she thought what she can do for that little. So she opened her sachet, means you may underline it, mention it, bag on top of it. And she found a piece of suede, means a type of a leather. It is a leather which feels like a cloth. When you touch it, you will feel that you are touching a cloth, but actually it is a piece of a leather. There was a brass bell also. So what all things were there in her bag? It was a piece of a suede, you can say a kind of a leather, but which feels like a cloth. There was a brass bell also. And who gifted her? It was a gift from her grandma. She used to keep this bell with her always. When she moved out for such adventures, whenever she used to move out, she used to keep this bell with her always. I hope till here everybody is very clear with the story. Moving ahead now, children, I'm going to read it. The last paragraph given on page number 44. Stepping forward stealthily, underline it. Gemma used her other hand to free a thin purple ribbon from her hair. She pressed the suede against the bell tightly to make sure that it didn't attract any unwanted attention. A few paces ahead and completely unaware of Gemma, the jaguar lifted his paw up for just a moment, then pinned the mole down again. So now, children, what happened? Now she has moved forward carefully. Stealthily means underline it, mention it carefully. She tried to free her purple ribbon. Her hair was tied up. So, she wanted to use that purple ribbon. So she has taken out that ribbon from her hair. She managed to use the bell in a way that there is no noise. Obviously, children, when we will, try to pick up a bell which is made up of brass, obviously it will make sound. But she was so careful because this sound could be heard by jaguar, and again, obviously jaguar will react after listening to this sound. So she managed to use the bell in such a way that there was no noise at all, because the main purpose of doing all these things is she wanted to save that golden mole. The major concern was that she has to save that golden mole. There was an idea to save this mammal. Now see what happened. The jaguar has lifted his paw up. That means he has lifted to move ahead. He has lifted his paw so that he can move ahead. But that jaguar was unaware of Gemma. That jaguar was not knowing that Gemma is somewhere around that jaguar. Instead of that, the jaguar's focus was on that golden mole. And what was the concern of Gemma? Gemma's concern was, anyhow, she has to save that golden mole. Come on to page 45 now, children. I'm going to read the paragraph for you all. Gemma allowed herself a quick and disapproving scowl. Underline the word scowl now. Then focused on the task at hand. She opened the cloth and tied the ribbon around an opening in the brass bell. Then, with the delicacy of snowflake, on a silk napkin at afternoon tea with the queen, Gemma tied the other end of the ribbon in another knot. So here, children, you need to underline the word scowl. Scowl means looking at someone in anger. When you are angry at somebody, so the look you give is called as a scowl look. That means looking at something or somebody in anger. All right. She slid backwards through the leaves and grabbed the suitable rock. As the jaguar leaned down with his teeth bared, Gemma pushed the knot towards the tail. Without a movement to spare, the jaguar lifted his head and whipped his body around. And that's when he heard a jingle. A strange, suspiciously close jingle. So there was a sound. There was a jingle sound. All right. So children, I'm going to explain this paragraph to all of you now. BL. So children, after watching all this, now jaguar is moving ahead. And this could obviously harm the golden mole. She was moreover concerned about that golden mole only. She was not scared. She was not afraid that jaguar is there. Instead, she was more concerned about how she will be saving that golden mole. She was looking at jaguar in anger. But she was upset. She was angry, But still, she was focusing on her task. What was the task? The task was how she will be saving golden mole. She opened the cloth and tied the ribbon around an opening in the brass bell. She has tied the ribbon there in the brass bell, children. Then Gemma tied the other end of the ribbon in another knot. This is the main task. What is she doing, children? All right. After tying the knot, she moved backwards and had taken a support of a rock. As a jaguar bent down, Gemma pushed the knot towards his tail. After listening to the sound, the jaguar lifted his head and looked here and there. Rest of the chapter I'll be explaining you in my next video.